Hey entrepreneurs, welcome back to the How To in the Real World series. This is the first video where we're actually going to be going outdoors, and I'm showing you behind the scenes of me creating the channel trailer for Entre Woman TV here on YouTube. Now, if you're new to the channel, then you probably want to go watch that. Anything that I'm referencing that's a specific video, I'll link it up above, so that channel trailer will be linked. Now, in addition to an accompanying series that will kind of help soften some of the blow when we start mentioning some of the tech aspects, because when we're going through some of the How To in the Real World series, I don't necessarily have the capacity per se in some of these to break down all of the nuances when it comes to video. So I'm releasing an accompaniment series that is going to go into the Overwhelm series, what I'll just shortly brand it as, but it's really going to be about learning videos from scratch for entrepreneurs and you're a beginner. So if you are interested in knowing more, then I will always link up above or down below or something like that. So check the description for any specific details. However, I want to break down a little bit of how these How To in the Real World series, as well as the Overwhelm series will go. So we're going to be doing what I call my 3T tier teaching system. Say that 3 times fast, and I got it right on the first try. So, but the 3T tier teaching system is basically the 3 T's, and it's kind of to make it easy to know the format of how these videos will go, and when you maybe want to step over to the Overwhelm series to pick up some additional information as you need to. So the first T is going to be tech. So when it comes to these how-tos, you're going to need certain tech aspects or certain tech things that you need to know or that you need to bring with you if you're going to be trying it for yourself, and I'll get into that a little bit later. So the first T is going to be the tech, the things you actually need to get the job done. The second T is all about the terms. The terms meaning, just like if you remember from school, the key terms, what are the words that are really specific and important when you're going through and you're learning all of this stuff, again, from scratch for beginners, but for entrepreneurs. So you're not trying to necessarily be a filmmaker, you're not trying to be a photographer, but it kind of helps you a little bit if you're wanting to go deeper a little bit, but just to give you the basis to get what you need done for your videos as an entrepreneur. Third T is going to be try it. One of the most frustrating things that people will experience when they're first starting their YouTube channel, when you're first just trying to put these things into practice, all these different skills, is you'll watch videos, create a playlist, maybe even take a few notes, and then you wait. And then you wait, and then you wait. And then you get an idea, or you kind of muster up the courage to sit down and do the video, and you're like, what do I do again? So at the end of every video, you will have a try it. So you need to take your camera, take your phone, whatever you're using to do videos with, but regardless, you need to try it every single day until the next video in the series gets released, or if you're watching this later and the whole series has been released, you need to try it. All right, so let's hop into the tech. So on this particular shoot, now I'm using the format that is being laid out by video creators. If you are familiar with that channel, he broke down some of the different elements when it comes to doing a channel trailer. So in that format, and giving credit to where credit is due, Tim Schmoyer, him and his team kind of put that together, and I loved it in the spirit of it, and I'm like, what can I do to kind of make this in my own way, my own style? So I'll link that up above and down in the description below, because we're probably going to run out of cards to link everything up above. So that's what I'm using, and that's the basis of like, well, how do you know what to say, or how did you know blah blah blah? You can go off of that format there. What tech am I going to bring? Well, for sure, I know I'm going to bring my camera. For me, my Sony a6400 that I'm shooting this on right now, and the kit lens that I'm also shooting this on right now. So I'm thinking if you can think through the process before we get like outdoors, and I'll kind of narrate and walk you through some of those things. When you think about like before you go, this is like the most critical part in the shoot, because it doesn't matter, like even though that video is like less than 2 minutes, the thought process that you go into it, the notes, and just like how much thought and detail doing research before I ever hit record on my camera. It's extremely, extremely critical and extremely important to have that kind of thought process of your video content together. But when it comes to the tech side, same thing. I'm always thinking in 3 layers. What's the audio that I'm going to need for just this actual thing? Okay, so right now for the how-tos in the real world, I'm on a street that's pretty busy. There's a lot of cars making noise. I have my lapel underneath my shirt. So the tech aspect of this is going to be a wireless microphone. You can use a shotgun microphone, but I'm trying to minimize the noise as much as possible. A little out of breath playing around on them steps. So, so the tech aspect of this is just your camera, whatever vlogging stick that you want to use, and then some kind of microphone. It's okay to use a shotgun microphone. That's no problem with that. And that's pretty much it. That I'm dealing with car and outdoor noise and people walking by. You know, I could have teenagers in the background doing whatever. It just doesn't matter. Like, but I try to pick a day and a time that works for me, works for my schedule. I'm using a lapel microphone, and I'm kind of hiding under my sweater, which is a couple different ways that you can tape that underneath. So about right here, I always go for like the breastbone or the chest bone right here on somebody, because it's not like your mouth, honestly, where a lot of sound comes through. Obviously, you scream in somebody's ear, it will be, but a lot of sound audio-wise or microphone-wise, you have a lot of sound right here. So if you can capture the noise and just the sound right here, it doesn't need to be next to your throat, just right here, then you're going to get a lot of good and clean audio. So that's the audio. Second part of that is the video. Of course, I'm using the Sony a6400 and the kit lens. Now, if you guys notice, you have some background blur behind me, but for the most part, stuff is kind of in focus. And the closer I come, the more, and I'm purposefully scooting down so you can see and I can see, the more you see stuff getting blurry. So the closer I am to the camera, the more blur I'll have behind me and the more space I have behind me. At the lowest aperture, that's a term we'll come back to in a minute, the lower I have the aperture or that F number on your camera, on your screen, then that'll give me the lowest that my lens can do, which the kit lens can't do that great. It's going to be f3.5, but because I'm in a park and I'm going to be close to the camera, I have a ton of just like infinite space behind me. All of that stuff will be blurrier than it may be for what you can see back there. I'm not sure how the day may switch up or change. Then I want to think ND filters. That's another term that we'll get to in just a second. But this ND filter, as you can see, it's kind of black and kind of solid. And then as I turn it, you can begin to see through it a little bit more and stuff like that. And I almost dropped it. Honestly, it just acts like sunglasses for your lenses, your camera lenses. And so if it's too bright, then I could screw this onto the camera and it makes it easier to see. But that is something that's going to help me to control the lighting. So the terms. When it comes to things like aperture. Aperture is something, again, if you want the full in-depth, go check out the Overwhelmed series. But that is a term that we're going to be using for this video. That's important because that deals with the lighting, and it deals with, or it affects lighting, and it deals with that F number that you'll see on the front of your lens. Like it'll say for kit lenses like f3.5 to 5.6, and that'll say, hey, this is okay, and for okay lighting to whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like that's dealing with that. So the lower that number is, the blurrier the background is. If I put my 35mm lens on here, I could really get that background to be blurry, because the lower that F number is, the blurrier the background can become. So it not only affects the lighting, like as I lower that number, it can make the image brighter as more light can get to the center, or like the eyeball of the lens, so to speak. And it also makes that background blurry, especially if you use something like the Canon M50 in the kit lens in darker situations. It's something to be concerned about. So depending on your camera, you want to know what those great settings are for your specific camera, for your specific use case. Now, I know this is a little bit longer, and as we go through some of these how-to in the real world series videos, we'll be able to not take as much time. But this being a really just like short video, there are a lot of things, again, going into the inside of my mind when it comes to how I'm formulating some of these videos that can make it work well. Yeah, I could have just went outside, said some stuff, but it becomes a little bit less effective. And so if I think through every aspect of the audio, the video, and the lighting before I ever leave home, it lets me know all the things that I need to bring, all the potential tools that I may need and all of the gear that will make this work and be a little bit more successful. So the only thing I need to worry about doing is producing content, because I can't tell you how many times I've gotten someplace and you forget the memory card, or you forgot the microphone, or the microphone that you brought, the batteries are dead. And so stuff like that happens. So that's how, if you're going to do something outdoorsy, it's important versus just like vlogging. It's kind of like I bring some of the same stuff, but I'm not as intentional as I am in this particular video. So hopefully this video was helpful in seeing how just something as simple as a less than 2-minute video, the different clips, all of the different times I got to pull my phone back out and go back through, or something throws me off, or I don't quite get the line the way I want, and then I kind of gotta go back through it. Now, I don't script my videos to the point to where I'm literally got like lines like that prepared, but again, this video being under 2 minutes for this channel trailer, I really want to be specific and hit on the pain points for my ideal audience member and who is, you know, this channel is for and who is supposed to be helping. The better clarity you have with stuff like that, the better that you can begin to produce content that does that specific job that you really want it to do. So hopefully this video helped you out. If you have any questions, be sure to leave those down in the comments down below, and let me know what else do you want to see in this How To in the Real World series. But until the next video, I will see you and live with passion. So since then great. So since then I've done, no, it's not right. What did I say? So what I'm doing is I'm going through my notes right now because I want to have a little bit of movement in this shot. I have my bag just right behind me. I actually took my headshot there recently. And so I just want a little bit of walking long enough to do this without leaving the line of sight of my bag. I don't know what other states people live in where they can just leave their camera and go for a run. St. Louis don't work like that, okay? So, so I'm gonna do this clip, which is the last part about me posting new videos every single week. And the way that I remember this is that I just want to have the bullet of, even if I don't say it exactly according to the script per se, and I am using it specifically for this one because it's 1 minute, so I got to hit every point as much as possible and all of that. So for this last part, I just want to know I'm hitting on the point, post new videos every week. Hit the subscribe button so you too can learn to create better videos that reach a wider audience, connect deeper with the people who need your business the most. And I may not do this here because it's too loud. So I got a minute, so I gotta go. I see a gap in traffic, so I wanna take advantage of that. All right, phone in the back pocket, let's do it. So I post new videos every single week. And I think one of the most important things to remember is that you want to share your message with the people who need you the most so you can reach wider and connect deeper with those people that are looking for you. So if that's something that you're into, that's up your alley, consider subscribing. And by the way, because I know you probably already did, welcome to Entree Woman TV. All right. Okay, so I am done. That's it. I'm walking back now. And so I make sure, the reason why I take a bag, even though I don't traditionally carry a purse, is because it works a little bit better for me personally. It just is easier to, one, what can I put in my pocket that I can keep in my pocket? And then two, how can I do this as fast and efficiently as possible and not be so out of breath? So I'm gonna get in the car in just a minute here and we'll keep talking because it's probably a little loud.